Could we stop, please? Like, let's be honest. The Fed doesn't know how to do this whole angle thing with the evil woman that comes and destroys the hope of our hero, and he never does anything about it. It's a very stupid trope, and it's stupid not because in of itself it's bad. No, it's the same idea as the heel manager that finally gets his comeuppance at the end of the feud and gets punished for always interfering in our hero's story. It's not bad in of itself. The problem is that the Fed doesn't know how to execute this whole story. Triple H doesn't know how to execute it, or he refuses to execute it properly. And I'm not only blaming him, because Vince McMahon is also to blame for this, because, oh boy, how many men did Rhea Ripley screw over and they never got the one-up on her? You see, that's like the biggest problem. For this type of story and angle to work properly, you're gonna have to, have the manager get hit, get punished, get his comeuppance. Finally, the crowd can cheer our hero as he punishes the dastardly manager that's screwing him over. But that didn't happen with Rhea Ripley. And it's weird that it didn't. The Good Brothers solution to Rhea Ripley was to introduce Mission, or Miyagi, whatever. And now here we have Becky just emasculating CM Punk. And CM Punk's solution is not to, more than likely, use a go to sleep or during their big match or whatever. No, their solution is going to be to bring in AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife. Now, you see, people might respect AJ Lee for what she's done to build up the women's roster and whatever. The problem is that this kind of destroys CM Punk's whole aura and look. And this is the problem with these types of feuds in general. It looks bad. The fact that CM Punk has to go cry to his wife, that's even shorter than Becky Lynch, to come and help him out against these dastardly villains, which both of them seem to hate them since they were a child. Oh no, they didn't shake my hand, they didn't train me for free, stuff like that. Because that's basically the reason. That's gonna be the basis of the feud of why Becky Lynch hates AJ Lee, because AJ Lee didn't shake her hand in Dublin at some point. It's a bad idea. It looks bad and it's stupid. And I have to give one thing to AEW, and that's really it. It's one thing. They have balls. Okay? You had Marina Shafir in the Bull Rider storyline just interfere and screw people over and over and over again. And you know what Tony Khan did? Like, he had one good idea regarding that whole faction, and that was letting Hangman Adam Page, and I think even Swerve, fire back. That's very important. He did at least that part of the story right. The whole story, a complete mess. Stupid. It's only started being interesting just a few months ago, and even that's kind of stretching it, because it was a bad story. But he did that one point, and he did it quite right. And this is one thing that Tony Khan has over Triple H, and even Vince McMahon to an extent, because they're gonna make CM Punk look weak because he's bringing his wife in and so on to fight this woman that she couldn't even headbutt his chest. Like the sternum bone that you have, she couldn't even touch that. Now, excuse me, I understand that it's a carny show and so on, but there has to be some aura to it. There has to be some realistic things to it. For example, somebody like Rey Mysterio should have an uphill battle against somebody like, I don't know, the Great Khali or Obafemi, if we want to go with a more, modern name. The idea is that wrestling has to be believable to an extended point. Yeah, you can have your animal fight, you can act like this is a Street Fighter or Tekken, but there is a basis of reality that comes with it. You can't get rid of that. That is what makes wrestling, and what makes it enjoyable to a certain point. And now you have Becky Lynch coming back as the boss. The man. Got confused, but who cares? Coming back as the man to help her husband, the man's man, in his feud with Phil Burnell. I don't know. I forgot what CM Punk's family name is. Doesn't matter. The problem is that it's not building to a story where Becky Lynch is gonna get her fair share. because she's been interfering in all these matches and so on. It's gonna lead to a story where CM Punk brings in a smaller woman to fight the bigger woman. I thought we were for all full equality, and yeah, sure, I'm not asking for Ronda Rousey to fight Brock Lesnar in a cage match, UFC style, but let's be honest, there has to be some sort of thing to it. It makes more sense if Becky Lynch was kinda like Marina Shafir, kinda in the sense that she interferes, she doesn't speak much about it. She should probably also do less things than Marina Shafir does, but you know, if it could work like that, but as long as the payoff is there. And the payoff for this is going to be AJ Lee, which has been confirmed because people have some poor sap in, what was it? The Fed's merch store page, whatever, just mentioned AJ Lee merch. So that means, yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's the payoff to it. The payoff isn't the proper storyline. The payoff is another comeback. How well did that work for R-Truth, it seems? I don't know. Most people cried for him. Then they brought him back, and now they're gonna make an Unreal episode because you have to get work, Mark. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I really want this to stop, really. Going back to the main topic, I really want this whole idea to stop. Either execute it properly, come up with the nice ending, or you know what? CM Punk doesn't even have to get the one-up on Becky Lynch. No, just have Seth win. What a crazy idea, and make another powerful babyface that does get that. Because when Hangman Page just buckshot Lariat, I forgot what he did to Marina Shafir. Tells you how good that match was. When he hit her, the crowd erupted. I think the idea is that if you do it like that, it's gonna work. And if we're gonna get another Rhea Ripley, I would rather not watch it. And then again, if we look at the last time both of these were in the spotlight, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, well, Bobby Lashley, Rusev, and what's her name, Lana, brought in more viewers with a cucking angle. I'm just saying, Triple H, if you want to make more money, bring Bobby Lashley back and have him cuck Rusev again. It seems we're going back in time with the way this booking is going, but what can you do? Hopefully, it's not gonna happen, but we just saw CM Punk get slapped numerous times by Becky Lynch, and I don't have faith that Triple H could go further than just, oh, we brought the AJ Lee back. How about that? Never say never. Look at this. We're all happy big family with CM Punk and everybody else. So let's do it properly or just stop it. Because at the end of the day, you can cry about equality as much as you want, but when the abuse is only one-sided, it ain't equality, that's for sure.